The Federal Trade Commission is suing a mobile analytics company, accusing it of selling sensitive data that could be used to track people at places like reproductive health clinics, churches, mosques, synagogues, and even domestic violence shelters or offices that provide mental health counseling. The lawsuit claims the Idaho-based company called Kochava sells massive amounts of precise geolocation data collected from tens of millions of smartphones, and that users can purchase this data for up to $25,000 on open-sourced markets such as Amazon Web Services. For more on this, ABC News contributor, managing partner at the Cochrane firm, Shauna Lloyd, with me now. Shauna, thank you so much for joining us. Is it legal to sell personal data from cell phones like this?
Absolutely, Deidre. It's actually very legal. We have no overarching federal laws that stop or inhibit companies from selling this data. There are a handful of states that have specific laws, and we do have certain laws that cover certain things like health procedures, your credit report, but we do not have anything that stops this sort of selling of data.
So, Shauna, what is the legal protection? Is that, for example, if somebody takes my data as long as they scrub my name, is that what makes it acceptable?
Absolutely. As long as certain parts of it identifying data is taken out of it, it can be sold. But you can still identify where people are moving, where they go, what they're doing. You can still, all of that geo-tracking is very much legal to be sold. So companies buy it, it's supposed to be to market to you about places you've been, things that you've seen. But it can also be used for activities that are not so good.
The FTC making this argument that the data can be used, as you're rightly saying, to identify people, even if, for example, in my case, my name is not exactly connected, but particularly with recent developments through the Supreme Court, the worry for abortion or healthcare providers who are helping women. I mean, how significant is this during this particular time when we're looking at states that have passed laws banning abortions?
It's a very significant thing when we think about it, because if you can track someone down to where they've been, sites that they're looking at, and track that back to an address or an individual or a family, this has broader implications because now they can use this information to enforce some of these laws. And the information right now is legally bought and sold to other entities.
So what can people do? I mean, is there a way to just turn off? I mean, sometimes you do get these permissions, sort of ask not to track or ask not to collect. You just go through and shut all of that off in your phone?
Realistically, these phones have so many ways in which they're tracking your data that it's not just a one-click button. Sure, you cannot have a specific app track something, but the phones themselves are tracking all of this location. This information is being tracked and sold whether or not you fully agree to all of it. It's up to these individual companies to govern and to write their own privacy policies. You know, until we have some sort of overarching law that governs what is considered private and how they can use it, this information is currently available to different entities.
So, Sean, I have to ask you this. The general manager of the Kochava Collective says in a statement that it operates within compliance of all rules and laws, including those specific to privacy, and that the FTC fundamentally misunderstands its data marketplace, that it actually has a new capability to block geodata from sensitive locations. It is currently working on implementing it. So is that enough of a defense here, even if the company has no control over how its customers use the data? In other words, once it's sold, it's gone.
That's right. And I think that's the bigger part of what we're looking at and the broader implication. Once this information is sold, people can use it as they will. And I think that what we're seeing here is that we have to address what is private information. This is an entirely new area. You know, these data tracking devices, these cell phones, this is information that wasn't readily available, 10, 15 years ago. So what you're talking about is a new area that hasn't been regulated. There aren't laws specifically addressing what people can do with the information when they've bought it. And I think that what we're going to start to see is this broader conversation about privacy. What is considered sensitive data? How can these companies buy this information? What can they do with it? I think those are the things that you're going to start seeing addressed coming out of this particular case.
Shauna, thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.